Hi everyone, welcome to my channel or welcome back to my channel. I'm Amma Mama, and first off, happy Mother's Day. If you're a mother, I hope you're having a great day. I just wanted to give a quick update of what I've read so far in May of the books from my TBR. The first book I want to talk about is The Hanging City by Charlie Holmberg. And I will say first off, I ended up giving this book 5 stars. I thought it was so good. This was one that I had won as a Goodreads giveaway, so I got a copy of it for my Kindle app, and I ended up just getting the Audible version of it. I think it was on sale when I got it, so it wasn't that much, and I listened to it, but I really enjoyed this story. It is a fantasy romance story, and there is a girl who goes by Lark. She's a human, and she's running from her father, basically. And again, I'm not going to share a lot of details because they're kind of important to the storyline, but she's running from her father, and she has what she considers a curse, but it's like a power that she has that her father has always used her for, basically, but she's trying to get away from him. She wants to start her own life and all of this, and so she ends up going to a city where there are what originally she is just referring to as trolls there, but later on she learns that to them that's a derogatory term, so they go by Trollus, and so she ends up in this city of Trollus, and she starts learning more about them, and lots of stuff happens. And again, I don't want to say a whole lot. It is a romance, but there are things that it's good to just kind of find out as you're going through the story. But it was really good, and some of the main characters, Lark and Asmar, he is a Trollus. His sister Unach is also a Trollus, and there's a couple of people. Well, there's one person in particular who is half human, half Trollus, and so there's a lot of stuff, but I thought the story was told really well. It is just a standalone book. I feel like the way it ended, you could potentially see where the story could be continued if the author ever chose to do that. And if they did, I would be happy to read more to kind of see what happens after the end. But if not, I was really happy with the way the story ended. So overall, I would definitely recommend this book. I mean, it was kind of a light fantasy. I mean, because it's a standalone book, you don't get, quite as in-depth in the world building and stuff like that. But I didn't mind it at all. And again, because it had that fantasy and romance element to it, it just was a nice story, and I really enjoyed being able to listen to it while I was driving and all of that kind of stuff, and doing other things around the house. But it was definitely a good book, so that one I gave a 5-star to. Then I also have finished James Patterson's Cross Justice, and this particular book, Cross and his family go back to the town where he is from in North Carolina, and they're there because one of his cousins has been accused of a very heinous crime, including murder, but against a young child, not a young child, but a teenage boy. But his cousin has been saying that he was framed for the murder, he was innocent, and so Cross goes out there with his family for a dual kind of vacation, but also to try to find out if there's any truth to what his cousin is saying, and if there is, to kind of get to the bottom of that, to keep him from, basically getting the death penalty where they are. And this one was really, really good. I did give it of 4 stars. Again, I listened to it. It did have a different narrator for this one than all the other ones that I've listened to. So I was a little sad about that, but the person who did the narrating was still really good. And so I enjoyed listening to this one a lot. But I really appreciated the storyline in this one. And it had some stuff happen at the end where you find out some stuff about his family that I really had not expected and did not see coming. Like, one of the things that I thought might happen did, but not in the way that I thought it was going to happen. And so it ended up coming as like a surprise to me. And so I was just really happy with the ending of this. And how it all worked out. I thought this was really good. This one's probably been one of my favorite ones with Alex Cross in it. So I definitely would recommend this. And then the last one that I have finished reading so far is The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. And in this book, you are following Clementine, who her aunt has an apartment who, when she was younger, her aunt told her that the apartment was magical and could do things. And she didn't necessarily believe it because she had never seen it happen herself. But her aunt leaves the apartment to Clementine, and the apartment time travels back 7 years. And so she ends up meeting someone. And so this is, again, it is a romance. Like, there's definitely like that kind of fictional, time traveling and stuff like that. Overall, I gave this like a 4.5 stars. There was at least one point in it where I felt like I couldn't tell if like the timelines that the author was trying to keep, if there was like a slip in it, or if maybe I had misread something or missed something that would have made it line up properly. Because there was one part in the story that involved, and I'm not going to share like the details, but there was one part in the story that involved Clementine, the man that she has met in the apartment, and his mother, and there's something that occurs within those 3 people that didn't make sense to me, because I was like, well, if this person knew that person, like, why didn't this happen? So like, there was one of those kind of situations. And so that was the only thing that I felt like didn't line up correctly. But it may have just been that I missed something when I was reading it, and maybe it did line up and I just didn't catch it. But this was a really good book as well. It was, it was an easy read. It was kind of lighthearted. I liked the romance element. I really liked the characters. And I loved the way the apartment was what was time traveling, because I don't know, the way I had it in my head, it wasn't exactly how it was done in the book. So it ended up being a little bit different than what I expected, which I liked a lot. So this also was really good. I liked this book a lot. So that is where I am at right now so far for May. I am currently working on reading the Kipling stories and poems, and so that one I've just been kind of setting a timer for 30 minutes and reading it a little bit at a time. So I'm not sure that I'll have that one finished by the end of the week, just because that one, with it being an older book and the language is a little bit different than what I normally read, so it's a little bit slower reading. And the first story in that book is called Kim, and it's an actual book, and then it's the Jungle Book after that before you get to the poems. But I am enjoying it. It is pretty good. And then I had started Edenville, so hopefully I'll have a little bit of I'm hoping I'll be able to finish at least one, maybe two books if I have time this week before next week so that I can give another update, but that's kind of where I'm at so far. I've been really enjoying the books that I've been reading so far this month. I definitely will say, as much as I love Stephen King, it's been nice having a little bit of a break from some of that horror and some of the gore that was in a couple of the books that I read last month. I think my brain needed that because I was starting to just get a little bit like, I'm having a hard time reading these right now. The Talisman definitely helped because with that being more of like a fantasy and everything, that one definitely helped a lot because I was starting to feel like if the rest of the books that I had last month were like that, it was going to be really rough. The book that I'm reading right now, it is a horror book, but so far it hasn't been like super gory. I haven't quite figured out yet the full, like what it's about. But anyway, so that is for another day. I just wanted to give an update on what I've actually finished this week and kind of where I'm at so far. And then we'll see how much I'm able to finish reading. But in the meantime, like I said, if you're a mother, I hope that you are able to do something that you love today, that you are able to get rest if you need it, or spend time with your kids if that's what you need, or spend time away from your kids if that's what you need. And you know, if you're not, I just hope you're having a wonderful weekend, and I will talk to you all next time. Bye.